Hello everybody, welcome to an honest discussion on Warhammer 40K Darktide. My name is Ryan, and today I am joined by Gregory.
Hello.
Alright, so first off, what did you expect from Darktide when it was first announced?
Well, seeing as it was made by the same people that made Vermintide, I suppose I just expected it to be like Vermintide, but in the Warhammer 40K universe instead of the what is that one called?
I think it's called Age of Sigmar?
Oh, okay,
I'm
Sigmar.
pretty sure it's usually referred to as Fantasy Warhammer and 40K Warhammer, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I expected it to be like that, just with 40K. So I guess I didn't have too high. I don't know. I guess it was also our first impression with Vermintide was that it was not very fun. I guess going back to play it just before Darktide came out kind of got me pretty hyped for it because I actually really like the way Vermintide plays. I like the general gameplay loop of it, and I suppose Darktide plays pretty much like that.
Yeah, that's kind of an interesting thing. Like when we both have like this weird shared memory of we have no idea how we got Vermintide 2, but somehow we did. And we both remember playing it for the first time and really not liking it. But I think we only played the intro mission. But then when Darktide got closer to release, we both went back to it and we both really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, I liked a lot of it. I think the only thing I didn't like about it is that we couldn't choose the same character because the characters were very much like characters
Yeah, the
in
characters are they're really part of the story, which
yeah.
that was something that I didn't know that I would actually miss.
Yeah, because they do
Um,
have a very specific banter
mhm.
between them, whereas they don't. Because they have names too. Whereas I feel like sometimes in Darktide the banter is almost disjointed.
Yeah, I'd
They don't
agree
really
with
talk
that.
to each other. They say stuff kind of in a general sense. I do like when the psyker tries to help up the veteran that he tells, "Don't touch me," kind of stuff like that's kind of funny.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I mean, I like the way that Vermintide plays, and I was excited to try that gameplay with some guns, I guess. And the actual game combat of the game is I like it. Everything there is fine. I think we maybe have the same issue, at least initially, as far as I don't know what was missing. Things that were
yeah,
so nice from Vermintide 2 and that were just not there at all in Darktide.
yeah. I mean, that was one of the comments that I saw early on was, "Wow, I'm really glad that oh, who the hell makes? I'm really glad Fat Shark learned all their mistakes from Darktide and implemented them in the making of Vermintide 2." Very, very adept observation there. It
It is,
really is. I mean,
yeah,
before we touch on that, I mean the one last point in the beginning here is the wait time. This game, when was it announced?
I do remember showing the trailer to some friends. I believe it was the end of 2019. I don't know if it was announced before that, but that's when I first became aware of it. It's the end of 2019.
Okay, so I mean, this game I have no idea what the development time was on it, but I mean, it was at the very least announced several years ago. So yeah, it's kind of bizarre the long development cycle that the game had and how unpolished it feels at release. And I guess that brings us to our kind of our big second point here is the game's been out for what, a month? A few
Yeah, about
weeks at
that.
least? Yeah, about a month. At the very least, including the open beta or I guess the pre-order beta. Um, what did you think with the first time playing the game? What were your first impressions of it?
You know, actually, when I first picked it up, I had no. Everything was fine. I was like, "Oh, this is fun." It plays like the Vermintide 2 that I was enjoying before. Only I got like 40K stuff in it, and I mean, there was really nothing I had to complain about it when the very first time I picked it up.
Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of the same feeling. I really have no love for Age of Sigmar. I don't dislike it, I guess, but it's I don't know. I have really no feelings towards it, whereas I absolutely love 40K. I don't really play the tabletop game. I'm more into the lore and a lot of the lore.
Hmm. Yeah, actually, for me, like I don't really have any attachment to either. I suppose. I just really enjoy the gameplay feel. I guess, and I love co-op games a lot, and there's so few like PVE co-op games.
Mm, yeah.
That might have been why I picked up Vermintide. I think.
Yeah, I mean that. I think that is why we went back to Vermintide. Maybe Max had suggested picking it back up. Uh, it seems like something that would happen.
Yeah. 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 Initially, I don't know why we got it, but
But yeah, I mean, so like I said, I'm really into the world of Warhammer 40K, and to me, I feel the aesthetics are just bang on, and the game. People often say these days, and I've said it many times, that good graphics don't really matter anymore. They're not that impressive because basically any game that wants to have good hell, we just played a $3 back rooms game that looks better than I think anything I've ever played because it was made in Unreal 5, and it looks damn near photorealistic.
it was
So
really
I mean,
creepy, actually.
yeah. it, so I mean, good graphics aren't that impressive, but I think it's how well the game nails what I think what a 40K game should look like. The
Yeah.
most popular video on my channel these days is the opening cinematics to Darktide, and I mean, there's a few people that shit on it, but the vast majority of people seem to really agree that this is a really good opening cinematic. We'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, I mean, I think our first impressions were the game it's pretty enjoyable. There's some definitely early on, especially in the beta, there were some performance issues, which are to be expected. It's a beta. But I think that may have been one of the first things that cropped up for me, at least. I'm still playing on my slow, spinny hard drive. And I will say the load times are pretty abysmal. You play on a solid state drive. How do you feel like
It even for a solid state, it takes a long time as well. I mean, not I've seen how long it takes you to get in the game, which is just like I can't imagine because it even on the solid state, it still takes quite a while to load up.
I mean, earlier today you went to you just like I said, oh, I'm gonna log in, and like be like a minute later, like, oh, if you're gonna log in, I'm gonna go get a drink and take a piss, and you came back and there was still about 3 minutes more of load time. So I mean, that's
Yeah, it is
definitely
faster. Yeah, definitely on the hard solid state, but it's still it's slower than I thought it would have been.
yeah.
Also, like, what's it loading in? I mean, it's just the hub world. So I don't know.
That's a good point. And I mean, we play on the Asia server, so I mean,
It should be near us, so
well, that's the thing is it had maybe you might think, oh, it's gonna load in all the players, but honestly, here there's not a lot of people playing it.
yeah. It's odd. It's another thing too. Just I guess you know what? I don't know. The graphics are updated a little bit from. I don't know. How do you think it compares? I guess graphics wise to Vermintide 2. Do you think it's? I know the aesthetic's way different, so it's definitely
Yeah, that
difficult
is
there. But
that's tough to tell. So it's hard to tell for me because for Vermintide 2, I had to crank my gamma up so high that
mm,
things don't necessarily look the way they're supposed to. Whereas this game, despite being called Darktide, is significantly... I don't want to say it's lighter, but it's definitely easier to navigate.
yeah,
Mission choices. How do you feel? I mean,
yeah.
Vermintide 2, again, you can basically choose any mission you want to run as long as... Actually, I don't recall, but I mean, I do remember you can... I don't think every mission is unlocked in the very beginning, but at least you can choose what mission you want to do.
Yeah, actually, so that one, the missions are a story, like they're chapters, and then you have like, at least for the base game, I think the expansions, it looks like they were kind of a lot of one-offs, so they're maybe not as impressive. But then the just the vanilla game had chapters, and each chapter has like four. Each story, I don't know what they call them, but each story section had four chapters, I guess, in that, and you
Yeah.
kind of went through that, and it was like a little mini story for each thing. You were going to a certain area to do something, and then all of those culminated into like kind of like a final clash. And I guess also those ones also they had proper bosses at the end of the levels too. It was very much more story-y than Darktide 2, and I've heard and read about Darktide 2 originally it was supposed to also include quite a bit of story, but
Yeah, and I feel like you can see a lot of like as the opening cinematic. There's the train that gets rammed into like the train full of the plague stuff gets rammed into the Hive City,
yeah.
and you
I feel like
can see it feels like there's some things that were supposed to be more
I
like
feel like it
they're
started pretty strong. Like everything about it seemed really. I mean, just everything about the game. I felt really strongly about it when I first jumped into it. I was like, okay, story's interesting. I got kind of a character arc. I like that I can actually build the character this time, even though I suppose you lose the story elements of the pre-made characters. But I also do like that. We can have a whole team of Ogrins or something like that, and everybody can customize their character. So that's nice. I mean, I liked everything in the beginning quite a bit. Not that I don't like it now, but
yeah.
starting off, I was like, "Oh,
Yeah,
I'm not
it
liking
did make
everything
a
so
really
far."
strong first impression. I mean, I think we've both said many times that if you have good gameplay, like if the core moment-to-moment gameplay is good, you can forgive a lot of shortcomings.
Yeah,
And I think that this is a good example of that because the game definitely has a lot of shortcomings at the moment. We'll bring it back to the story and some of the cutscenes. I think we've played quite a bit of. We've at least got one max level character. I think you have two now.
yeah,
The story is garbage. The cutscenes after the initial cutscene, I mean, I really enjoyed the initial cutscene, and the second cutscene, the Who Am I cutscene,
yeah.
that's where it started to go a little downhill. I felt
It
even
really just
that cutscene, it started kind of strong, and then when everyone starts screaming, I am a warrior," I was like, this is a little cringy. And
it is weird.
then
Like everything started strong, but just kind of quickly drops off
yeah,
as far
it,
as like
it
that
took
stuff goes.
definitely took a nosedive. Every cutscene basically feels like, well, you need to prove yourself. Well, you've proven yourself, but now you really need to prove yourself in this next test. And it really just all culminates with, you proved yourself.
I like how they try to throw in like I don't know what they're going for. Like maybe a bit of a I don't know if you call it a bait and switch or a I don't know,
A
a
red
gotcha moment at
herring.
the end. It's like, oh ho, one of you is the traitor,
Honestly, I
and
had no idea who the other character
yeah. Well,
was.
that's the thing is the other person is like nobody. Like you didn't. I don't. Did you? I don't even remember if they appeared in one of the cutscenes because also the cutscenes are extremely short.
It,
So it's
it
like
was It would
was
have
like,
been like if Pokemon had, like, they had just introduced your rival at the very end of the game.
it's like, and that's the thing, like maybe if they built something up or anything, but it's just like, and they point the gun at you, it's like,
Well,
okay.
there's two people standing here, and I'm the main character of the game. Like, what are you trying to prove with this cutscene? Like, you ain't gonna shoot me.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? That would have been better if there was two other NPCs that you had known and they were playing off of each other or playing off of you as you know as the story progressed. Then you might feel a little bit more attached. Like, oh no, it's not my best bro right here. No, it can't be. And then they shoot him or something like that. You know.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like there's a lot of things, like just basic writing things that they could have done to really improve it, but yeah, it just wasn't there.
It's weird too because like, I feel like it's built on the it feels like it's built on the exact same engine as Vermintide too. So I'm thinking like, what the fuck were they working on that whole time?
Yeah, that's a really good point.
I suppose the levels are no, I don't know. The levels are pretty intricate, and I do believe they are designed on purpose to make you
Hmm.
feel lost sometimes, which is fine. But come on now, the entire development cycle was that I don't know. I'd be really interested to see what exactly they spent their time on.
Speaking of things being not there, crafting.
Yeah, you know, like even like the money shop in Vermintide 2 was so much better because they had you could you could also buy stuff with in-game like currency you earned as well. You know, it took a lot longer, but at least you could do it. Where and then the money purchases were one to one, like real money. They weren't the that really scummy you know, a fake currency you have to purchase, and then you use the fake currency to buy what you want.
Yeah. Yeah, just the fact that the crafting system shipped in the way that it did, where is literally 3/4 of it are unavailable upon the purchase of what's admittedly not a full price game, but that, I suppose there's something to be said for knowing, so from what I understand, they had basically a crafting system in place, and they decided they didn't like it and decided to scrap it pretty late in the cycle. And I suppose there's something to be said for saying, okay, we have a broken thing, let's not ship it, uh we're gonna redo it. You already delayed the game a few times. Like, what's is it really gonna? Wouldn't you much rather ship a game that is in a more complete state
I
rather
was
than
actually
risking getting? Wouldn't you rather delay a game so that you can ensure getting that most, even just the most basic of positive or mostly positive score on Steam, rather than, what is it? Is it currently? I'm pretty sure it's currently sitting at a mixed review at the moment. If I was
yeah.
yeah,
Well,
that's
actually, I was wondering, and I know another video I'd watched online kind of brought this to light. I was watching a Bellular talk about it. He's saying like, you know, it wasn't. I don't think he was talking about this game in particular, but just on release dates. And I'm wondering if this game they were just too worried if they pushed it back, would they be competing with bigger titles, which would have
okay.
made them have to push it back maybe even further. Like maybe they're rushing it out to kind of avoid other bigger titles in hopes that they would, I don't know, make more money that way.
I mean, yeah,
I'd have I'd
that
have to
that does
look at
make
what's
sense.
coming out. Well, because that could turn into like, okay, yeah, big. Oh, so you got some big titles coming out January and then February and then March. So now your game that was supposed to come out like, you know, fall of 2022 is now coming out almost summer in 2023. So I mean,
Yes.
that could be an issue. Again, like I don't know. I don't even know what games are coming out next year, or you know what the schedule was like when they decided to do these things. But I guess there's an argument to be made. But I don't know, just playing devil's advocate, I suppose. But
Well, another way to look at it, and I think in, I'm pretty sure you're correct in that Bellular video is what brought this topic up. And another thing that they brought up in that video was now, so I might be wrong about this, but I don't think I am. When Vermintide 2 came out, I think I don't know who the owner of Fat Shark was, but certainly now I'm pretty sure the majority stakeholder in Fat Shark is Tencent.
Hmm.
And I don't know, that feels like a company that would just tell a publisher, ship your minimum viable product now.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I don't know, a lot of this game feels like it's just not there, but again, they had the core gameplay, and it hooked the both of us.
Yeah, I mean, because like I do enjoy the actual gameplay of it, you know, and I like having I don't know, I like I said, I enjoy co-op a lot, and I like that there is kind of systems to master. Like you're not you know, you're how good you play the game is not really tied necessarily to you know, your character perks or special abilities, because even the better abilities, you require some thinking and planning, and it takes a bit to learn the systems, and I really into all that, you know.
Yeah.
So I do like the gameplay, you know, it is fun. I just, wish there was more. I mean, the loot system is just awful. Like I thought the loot system from well, I guess the loot system is effectively non-existent as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I mean, the loot box system, where you basically based on how well you did in the mission, you would get some loot boxes, and then again, if you did really well in the mission, it would upgrade those loot boxes. And it's like, I thought that was, I don't know, there's no problem with that at all. Was
No,
and I think
that's definitely, I enjoy that system much more.
Yeah.
I think that'll bring us up to the next phase here, is maybe what do we think of the game now? And I think that is issue number one. Is, I mean, since we've both have played, again, quite a bit. I think I have over 40 hours. I'm assuming you have more.
Actually, how I got 66 hours.
God damn. How much do I'm afraid to look at it. Okay. No. Ooh, I have 69.9. Nice.
Ooh.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, so we have a significant amount of time in the game, and yeah, the loot feels bad. Just
Yeah,
overall.
that's why I started leveling other characters, because like, well, I mean, I don't know. I feel like, what's the point of playing my max level character? Because like, loot's just kind of like, even when new loot appears in the shop, it's marginally better every time. You know, it's only small little upgrades, and it's just like, I don't really care that much. I can do what I want to do as is right now. So what's the point?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the system in Vermintide 2, where how good the loot can be is directly tied to how well you perform in the mission. And now
Yeah.
that system is gone, and it's based purely on the items that randomly appear in the shop, there's really no incentive to try harder in the mission. There's really no incentive to do like, once you're max level, it doesn't feel like there's an incentive to get the grimoires or the scriptures, because all it does is give you a little bit more money. But that doesn't, if you're sitting on 200,000 ordo dockets, what is 60, or what is it, 600 more?
Yeah.
And it really incentivizes just playing missions at the lowest difficulty, so you can knock them out faster. And I don't know, that really just, it feels shitty. It's not. It doesn't. Yeah. There's no incentive.
Yeah. I think even the other one too, like they're like the achievements for that one. I guess the penances for Vermintide 2 also gave you like money to use in their cash shop.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So you could, I think you couldn't buy everything, but a lot of stuff in that real money shop could also be bought with those like I don't know what they were, what currency it was, but there was like some silver or something you got by
Yeah.
doing those I think there's some weekly challenges, and then there was just like your penance kind of things too. That was like a one-time thing, and it kind of you would get stuff that way, and you could just buy it. Although I don't think that existed initially in Vermintide 2. I think a
That's
lot of those
something.
systems, I think a lot of those systems also may have come much later. But again,
Yeah, I guess that's something that might be a little bit. Well, no, fuck that. It's not fair to
what was I saying?
compare.
Like, I mean,
Yeah,
they already, they went
they.
from I guess what Darktide is now to what Vermintide 2 is now. So like they already kind of went through those growing pains. Like you already have the systems in place. Why would you scrap them all or just not include them? Like I don't know. Maybe it is very odd.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They had the template.
Yeah, no, it's like you already went through this. Like what? Why did you do it again? I just.
Again, it brings me back to it. It must have something to do with the fact that Tencent owns as much of the company as they do. 'Cause I feel a lot of the things that are wrong with this game are directly tied to scumminess, and I guess that. Oh no, sorry. Before we touch on that, I want to touch on the penances are awful. Not only are they terrible to complete, but they completely they completely disincentivize you to play as a cohesive team. They encourage selfish play. And we have both been in many situations where I mean just I think before we sat down to record this, we were playing a mission where some guy was just running off doing shit and died because he was trying to get a penance done. And I don't know, in a game that is very much dependent on cohesive team play, that is a really bizarre choice.
Yeah. Because yeah, they are definitely like other people get in the way of me trying to do those penances. Like the psyker, what I've been trying to do, or push people off the ledge. I mean, obviously people are trying to they're trying to play the game. They're doing their crowd control stuff and killing stuff. And it's like, all I'm thinking is like, motherfuckers, step back so I can do this.
Exactly.
And it's just, but that's a terrible, that's not, I don't know. I mean, that's also something that people have kind of, it is a dead horse that's been beaten quite a bit, but still, it's like, come on. I don't, for a co-op game to have such selfish goal. Well, the fact that also like loot, I guess that's like the only other way to get. Well, it's not the only other way, but it's one of the few ways to actually get cosmetic items without paying money.
Well, that is a good segue to what is probably the biggest issue is the real money shop. Granted, they have fixed what is, in my opinion, the most egregious issue, which is the mobile game tactics of putting just enough or giving you just as I don't know how to put it.
All those options are still there. There's only one option that you could actually properly spend the entirety of, and it's like for 2100 Aquilas, I believe it's called.
Oh, you heretical bitch.
But there's only one option for that one. The other options are still there, the scummy ones. So it's like they didn't take the other ones out. They just added another one that like, oh, see this one, it's you can buy a set for 2100, and look at that. There's a thing you can buy for 2100. It's like, okay, but then I can also still buy the 500 pack where everything costs like 400 or 600. So I'm like, that's.
You gave me the time to think of it. You're always all the packs are just shy of what you need to buy like a full outfit, and there's no one-to-one buying of the currency, and they gave the excuse, which is in my opinion valid, that it is for regional pricing, so they don't have to figure out what is the one-to-one version of each thing. But yeah, just the fact that it is so disgustingly similar to things that you see in mobile games and the free mobile games, the gacha games where they sell you just enough to buy not what you really want, so that you have to buy the bigger pack so that you have spare money left over, or spare in-game money left over, so that if you want to buy a second one, you got to buy even more. And it's like, I already paid for the game. Why are you I know why you're nickel and diming me like this, is because you're owned by a shitty predatory company. That's why you're doing it. But I don't know. Fat Shark is not a company that has earned enough goodwill to say, oh, we made a mistake. We always intended to have this other pack in there. We just forgot. Like, that's horseshit. I don't know. Maybe some other people will give them the benefit of the doubt. I am not willing to do that.
It sounds super fishy because it's like it was. I don't know. Because again, if you look at the packs too, it just looks shoehorned in. It's like, oh, okay. It's like, and that's the only pack that does that.
It is. It really is. And
the only pack that's like, oh, see, this one, it's just enough to buy a set. That we sell these sets that have a full set of gear for, head, body, pants. And it's.
Don't forget, there's 2 weapon skins and what is it, the little talisman thing?
Yeah, so I mean, it is one of the special sets, but still, it's like, but then what if I just want one of those? It's like, well, you can also buy this set, and still, well, because I think if you buy that set, there is a lot of stuff that's set at 700, and if it's 2100, sorry, actually, now Aquila is all I can think of. Is it Aquila?
It's Aquila's, goddammit! It's
Aquila.
Aquila's.
Okay. So I said it so many times, I forgot. But anyways,
beat you to death.
Yeah, 2100 Aquilas. That's if things are mostly 700, then you can buy 3 things. So there's that. But then still, you gotta buy the 2100 pack.
Yeah, it's
like, what if I don't want 300? What if I don't want 3 things? What if I just want 1?
Yeah, like I said, the issue is fixed, but just the fact that it was an issue at all, and I firmly believe the only reason it got fixed is because people rose such a stink about it. And I don't know, good for everybody on YouTube and around the internet for bitching about it, because you actually got it changed.
Yeah.
A far less egregious issue, but something that still I find very annoying is just the complete lack of explanation.
Oh,
when it comes, it's better now. But man, when penances, for example, like I could not during the closed beta, like they just said charge at an enemy from such and kill an enemy while charging. Like, what? All right, run at it? No. Charge at it? No. or what was it? I don't know, the preacher's rush ability. But, yeah, I mean, it's a little better now at the penances, but still, you go into. I mean, hell, you just go in to check your currencies, and I know that the first currency is called Ordo Dockets because I think they directly say it in the game. I know Aquila's because people mispronounce it and it drives me crazy. I know the 2. I think one of them is called Plasteel, and the other I can't recall what the other one's called. But again, it's because people have referred to it in game. What the hell is? I can't recall the name of the currency for the weeklies. And it's because I can't just hover over it, and it just doesn't say it anywhere.
Yeah, like the weapon explanations are just they're garbage too. Like what does 36% damage? What does that mean?
Well, I mean, that's okay. There is explanations about stuff like that, but it's because people have done the digging to find it.
Well, I'm saying, is it in the game or is it on
in game?
Is it on Reddit? Like I shouldn't need to be doing meta research for something so simple, like to the point where I don't even know if how much of an upgrade something is. Like all those percentages are different, but then like I guess the numbers up top are the same. So is it better?
Yeah.
worse. You know, I mean, I guess it's better for depending on what you want the weapon to do. But then again, I don't know.
Yeah,
Is it
that's
like
the
like
thing. Like, I know what all that stuff is, but it's because I've done a shit ton of research in preparation for a video that I'm putting out that's specifically to address this issue.
it's okay. I mean, not to get into the whole thing then, but just a quick thing. So, what does the like I guess damage percent do? Is that adding a percentage onto like whatever the base damage is?
So again, I am in the middle of this research.
Yeah, I mean, so you don't have to explain all of it, but I'm just kind of
So
really curious. What are
basically, those percentages are tied to your weapon rating. So based on your weapon rating, you have a certain like basically you think of it as like a stat pool. So the higher the weapon rating, the bigger the stat pool, the higher those percentages could go.
Yeah, it doesn't tell me what those percentages mean though.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, shit. Okay, I don't have a good way of explaining it right now, but I mean, basically, that's what the percentages are tied to. Is that number?
Okay. Now I just gotta figure out what the percentages actually mean, and then I'm set. See, so many things. It's like
Basically, I'm sure there's gonna be somebody in the comments that knows all this shit already, and they're gonna scream at us. But that's okay. You can scream at us, call us stupid, let us know how dumb we are. That's what we want. I don't know. Do you have any other issues?
No, I think those are the big ones. I guess loot in general,
Yeah.
and then explanation for things, and you know, it might be more. I guess the penances being a little bit more co-op friendly. I guess I have another thing to say about that, but that maybe might be more tied to my future things I would like to see.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean that brings us to our final topic here. Like, what would you like to see in the future?
I think I would love to see, and just because it's a co-op game, but maybe more rewards for being more co-op friendly. Like, oh, I saved somebody from, or I don't know, I got someone off the ground, or I saved somebody from a trapper, or maybe I intercepted some enemies before, like so, like somebody else could do the I don't know, this little skull thing or whatever with the glyphs.
All right. Well, so I'm always a proponent of the idea of not bitching about something unless you have a solution to it. What do you think about something, for example? So my main is the preacher.
Mhm.
I don't know. Would you say your main is the
Psyker.
Yeah, the psyker. So something like, for example, to encourage co-op play. I don't know how exactly you'd do it, but maybe so maybe kill X amount of enemies stunned by a preacher's grenade. As something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that'd be nice too. Or maybe okay, you know, when the Ogrim like knocks things over, I mean, there's stuff the Ogrim can do that I mean, I guess you can add like bleed effects to those enemies too, but just I don't know, by helping other people have like tie into something. Like, you know, even just reward stuff. Like I was saying before, maybe if I were able to get enough people off the ground, or even just intercept enemies before they hit you, like if I stopped a dog from jumping on someone, maybe give me just I don't know, even some more money at the end, or maybe actually resources. That'd be good, I think.
Yeah, resources, especially that the cube one, whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah.
That one
Or
feels quite stingy.
you know, maybe even better is maybe for everything you did, increase the chance to get something from the Emperor. You know.
There you go. Maybe, or you know, that's my hope from the future, or for the future, is they just, I would love to see a completely overhauled loot system. The way it is now sucks. I don't like it, but I mean, okay, that is one way you could make it better.
Or just, I mean, even just touch on the loot system in general, like the fact that it's even a chance that you get something at all. At the very least, give me something.
Yeah.
Like when it's like I go like round after round, and it's like 20 minutes per match too. It's like, I mean, I do that like 3 or 4 times, and I get nothing every time. It's like, well,
I would actually say that that would fix a lot of issues for me. Is make the Emperor's Gift 100%. Make the base. You do a level 1 mission. You do a level 1 mission with no extras. You get a gray item. You complete some side missions, you get a little bump up. You do the next level, you're guaranteed a what is it, a green item. You do the next level up, you're guaranteed a blue. There you go. I feel that fixes a lot of issues, and
just get something. And I suppose if maybe someday in the future when we get the ability to break down things for materials, then all the better.
Yeah, that's another hope for the future. Implement.
I think they said like, oh, we'll have it just in the next coming weeks. The next coming weeks have come and passed, and they've added a whole one thing so far.
Well, I have no. I don't. I have to say I didn't read anything on what the time frame was.
Yeah, they said it was coming in. It was coming up in the next few weeks. It's.
Well, that's a pretty vague term. Few weeks could mean anything.
I
don't know. I guess when you start creeping into the months thing, that's a little.
One thing it said weeks, and it came out December 1st. It is January 1st.
There you go.
Weeks.
God damn, yeah. I guess it has been exactly 1 month.
Yeah, the weeks window has passed.
Yeah, it's very well. No, technically, I would say
I guess it has to go. Has to go into once it gets into 2 months, then I'll say it's passed.
Exactly. Let's see other big. So say they come out with an expansion. I'm hoping that's a big hope. One of my big hopes is they support this as much as they supported Vermintide 2, and I would really like to see in the next expansion some more story stuff.
Yeah,
that would be
that'd
nice.
Be cool. And they have also said that they're going to add some more character classes too.
Yep. That's what would you like to see in the expanded character classes?
I don't know, actually. I guess the problem is I don't know too much about Warhammer. I guess as far as like an actual character goes, a tech priest would be kind of cool. As far as actual just different classes for the existing characters.
Yeah, that's more what I'm talking about. Like what?
I don't know. Well, again, I don't know enough about. Well, I suppose even looking at Vermintide too. I guess.
Well, so what I'm getting at is, for example, take the Psyker.
Yeah.
The Psyker gets mauled pretty badly in if you just go and try and melee. Would you like to see, like, oh, maybe there's a tank version of a Psyker that can go in and, I don't know, create some kind of psychic shield?
That'd be kind of cool. But then I'm sorry because I'm again using Vermintide 2 as a template, and I think the biggest difference I think with those like classes, I think was just the skill tree, the perk tree was different. Like, I think your F ability was always the same though.
Oh, was it?
I think it was. As far as like because I was just playing the elf, and I'm pretty sure it was the arrows like every time. I think.
I don't think so. I might be completely wrong, but I remember the Pyromancer having a different F.
Okay. I have to go back. I honestly don't remember anymore. But actually, if they had different F abilities, I think that would be cool too.
Yeah, that'd be definitely cool. I'd support that.
Yeah, I mean, just a little more variety is nice. It's always nice. I suppose right now I don't need it because, you know, I haven't finished leveling up every character, and I guess, I don't know. At this point, it feels more padding than anything, but yeah, new classes would be cool too. I've heard they might add a 5th character as well, so. Because if you remember, Vermintide 2 had 5 characters.
Very true.
Although
what
that might have.
What would you like to see from a 5th character?
I said tech priest would be kind of neat.
Tech priest, okay.
I don't know, maybe have a drone or something.
I heard some people talking about drones not making sense in a wave shooter.
Well, there is a character in I was playing it the other day, Killing Floor 2. One of those classes has a drone.
Okay, well, there you go.
It's just stationary and it shoots for a bit and then it goes away.
That's more of a turret.
Yeah, well, it is literally a drone, like the fly ones.
Oh, okay.
I suppose there's that, but it is literally a drone.
Actually, yeah, okay, yeah, I mean, Tech Priest, yeah, you could have some,
Drop down a turret for a second, and
I don't know.
I mean, that could just be
I
its
want to
F ability.
ignite the debate in the comments section. Do you think it would make, like, would it just completely break the game to put a Space Marine in?
Uh-oh.
Because, I mean, one, Space Marines are just giant hulking beasts next to, even next to an Ogrim, I think they're still quite large. And, I mean, I don't know, Space Marines, like, just the average thing doesn't kill them.
Is there a version of Space Marines that is weaker?
Okay, not weaker, but I guess you could say maybe like a sister of battle, like the Sororitas.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I mean they have seen a lot of love lately. The Sororitas just got added into Gladius, and I want to say in I just bought that expansion too for what do you call it?
I know you did.
God damn it, you're fucking spying on me.
You were.
Yeah.
I was here when you were talking about it, but actually, one thing though, would that reduce the? Oh no, I guess you can't make a female Ogrim, so I guess whatever. I would say like you can't make a male.
Oh, see, actually, that's a really good idea. It balances the scale there.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. I mean that kind of does it for me, I think, in terms of. Yeah, I think we've covered everything.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I enjoy playing the game. I just, wish there was, especially after playing Vermintide 2 just weeks before it came out, a little bit disappointing that it's not as feature complete.
Yeah, I guess
But
that would be the closing thought is, would you recommend this game to somebody?
oh, that's a tough one. If you like just the co-op experience, PvE, yeah, I think it's probably still one of the better experiences for that. I definitely had a lot of fun just playing through the missions, stuff like that. There's not a lot of substance there right now, though. So if you're looking for something that's a little bit more long term to hold your attention, maybe not, or maybe wait.
Yeah, that's definitely what I would say, and I think that is the sentiment that is echoed across many other reviews. Is I think in the next year, this'll be a hard recommend for me.
Yeah, I mean, once
also,
they've got,
I mean, I'm biased in that I love 40K, and I already enjoy playing the game. Like we said in the beginning, they're good core moment-to-moment gameplay will make you forgive a lot of shortcomings. But if it's just like your random, oh, I'm looking to play a game on Saturday night just by my lonesome, I don't think I could recommend this to people now. But come back in a year, maybe even 6 months, I think it's going to be really good.
yeah, once it's got if it even gets half the features that Vermintide 2 had, I'd say it'd be pretty solid at that point.
All right. That does it for me. Any final closing words of wisdom, thoughts?
No, I'd say that was pretty much it right there. I have big hopes for the game. I do enjoy it, and I would love it to be better. I know it can be better.
Exactly. They already made a game that's exactly like it, but better.
No, that's what burns the ass the most.
I think that is one of our notes for this video was make it more like Vermintide 2. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us. If you made it this far into the video, you are a champion. If you enjoyed what you saw here, let us know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We just recently hit 200 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. It is New Year's basically for everybody right now, right?
Well, let's take a look here.
Well, yes, it is. All right, Happy New Year, everyone. We're dating the video.
You know what? When they watch it, it'll be New Year's.
It'll definitely be New Year's. So, thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you guys next time. Have a good one.